What's going on, guys? It's the Bigs Podcast, episode number 82. This is part 2 of Week 12's review, and Week 12 ended a week ago. But you know what? When we get the chance, we are here for you guys. And with me tonight from Denver, Colorado, Jason Ashby. Now, Jason, last time I saw you, I was exiting a subway train after we had just seen our Metropolitans lose again to the Milwaukee Brewers. But you know what? It didn't put a damper on the day. We had a wonderful time, and I'm just so thrilled that we got to see you. How have you been? How was the flight home, my friend?
Dude, first of all, it was an absolute blast getting to see you and Ben and Frank. It was a perfect evening. Even though the Mets didn't do their part, it was an absolutely wonderful evening. And yeah, I'm back here in Denver, made it back safe and sound. It was a great end to the trip. One I'll always remember, but I'm ready to kick this thing off, and let's finish Week 12 finally.
Yeah, let's get going, boys. And lesson in planning here. When you make plans, something's always going to come awry. That's Murphy's Law, right? Like whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So we had Bigs Conclave 2023. Brooklyn first, then Queens second. So Brooklyn, we were concerned about the weather. Did not rain. It was a beautiful day. And then Queens, it was concerning that it was going to rain. Did not rain. Beautiful evening. We won in Brooklyn. We lost in Queens, but we had a wonderful, wonderful time. To those of you that could not make it, hey, we got a lot of stadiums and teams in this area. I'm willing to go to like the Somerset Patriots or the Lakewood Blue Claws or the Trenton Thunder or the Newark Bears or the Long Island Ducks. There's plenty of them. Let's go. And let's go.
Do it.
Jason, we're going to break down the 4 matchups that we have left to cover. And shout out to Mike Haber, who is going through a family loss at this time. We love you, buddy. We got you from here. So we don't know when Mike's going to be back, but we're going to give him all the time he absolutely needs during this. So we love you, buddy, and take all the time you need. As for his matchup this week, Jason, it was a 10-10 tie. Talk to me about it. You've got all the research tonight.
Yeah, this was a wild matchup. One that I don't know if we expected it to end this way, or even it was just all over the place all week. Mike Sherman had the lead, for the better part of the week. And then Mike Haber does what Mike Haber does, and he creeps back up and he snatches that lead from you. He actually held the lead going into Sunday, but he just let it slip away by one category, and they end up with the 10-10 tie. For Mike, he still ends up in first place after this. So, in terms of the standings, it didn't really hurt him too much. Mike Sherman ended up in 14th. There was no movement between these two teams. Both of them stayed exactly where they were after this week was over. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Let's take a look at the close categories here. We'll start with Mike Sherman, who wins by 4 RBIs, 2 walks by a batter, 4 strikeouts by a batter, and 2 losses. Mike Haber wins by 2 triples, 2 errors, and a win. And they tied in home runs by a pitcher. For Mike Sherman, okay, you get to do the math this time.
I do get to do the math. I am so excited that I get to do math for the first time on the show.
This is fun. All right. For Mike Sherman, he goes 14 for 57.
All right, 14 for 57. Well,
starting off easy.
14. Yeah, well, 14 for 56 would be a 250. So it'd be a little bit worse than that. I'm going to go like 245, 246.
246.
Yeah! First one out the chute, boys! First one out the chute.
Easy.
This game is fun. Let's go.
So 246, 7 runs, 3 doubles, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, a steal, 2 walks. None of it plays. Good job.
Yo, 14 stolen bases too this week, by the way. Like, how many did you have on the bench?
1.
1. Okay. Because I just finished the record book, so I know what the all-time record for that category is. And that's not it. Like, you got to beat that. You got to beat that by multiple in order to get there. Continue. as he
That's
takes
incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
He used all of 2 ads. One was for Michael Talkman, who went 0 for 2 with a run, 2 walks, and a strikeout. And Hogan Harris, 4 2/3, a homer, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, a 771 to 193 over a big relief appearance. That's it. That's all he did. That's all he usually does. But let's hit on his key players, because it's going to be Ronald Acuna. Who else, right? 360 with a 385, 4 runs, 2 doubles, a homer, 2 RBIs, 5 steals, and 1 strikeout.
Ronald Acuna is just stupid this year, isn't he?
Dude, he's got 40 stolen bases, and it's July 2nd.
Yeah, I feel like this could very well be a very easy 40-40.
Yeah. Like, and 40 steals may not be the stopping point.
No. Who's the least valuable here?
Least valuable hitter is nobody. Everybody did something on this offense. I literally have nobody. I can't pick anybody. Byron Buxton had a 227, but he still had 3 homers and 4 RBIs. Even this Talkman kid hit 143, but he had a 333 on base. Like, everybody did something on this offense. It was pretty much just an onslaught.
Yeah. Offensively, Mike Sherman's team brought it. I mean, you hit almost 300 and got on base 36% of the time. Like, that's nasty. That's nasty. 14 homers, 32 RBIs, 40 runs scored. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't even fair.
No.
So we'll talk about his pitching. His Cy Young, well, of course it's going to be Shohei Ohtani, who, of course, throws 7 innings, has 1 homer, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts, a 1.29 and a 1 whip, and still manages to lose the game.
And loses the game.
The Angels.
A team is frustrating, is what it is.
Yeah, and I know an Angels fan that lives here in Denver, and I feel bad. I feel so bad for her because the team just can't buy a win, even when you have the 2 best players on the planet, and this happened.
Yeah.
His Cy Young is going to be Christian Javier. Has kind of hit the skids lately. 2 1/3, 5 walks, 1 strikeout, a medieval 1543, and a 386 whip. He's been in rough times lately.
Yeah, couple of bad starts. Another bad one against St. Louis recently, and it looks like he lines up for Texas tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm throwing him against Texas at this point. You might just want to let's see what happens. There might be an injury going on here, and that would be terrible for Sherman and anybody who owns him. But
if there's going to be one, let it be now, and like have the All-Star break to kind of recuperate. So
I suppose,
maybe,
I suppose,
but that's tough.
Yeah.
All
Overall,
right,
this team, like, let me just hit on this team real quick. The offense is just stupid, right? I mean, Acuna, McLean has come out of nowhere and been awesome. Bobby Witt is he's nice. He's a nice serviceable piece there. And then after that,
has been just like
But like as Ben would say, who are the 4 stars here? Is it Albies, Acuna, Witt, and Buxton? Okay. It's not terrific, but when it all clicks together like this, it's nasty, and you run into a buzzsaw like this. 14 homers plays every single week. Yeah. It's the pitching that's concerning now. It's
for sure.
Yeah, it's Javier, Ohtani, Senga, Barrios, and friends.
I mean, like David Robertson is okay in the bullpen, but he's been having some hiccups lately. It's not a whole lot to like in the pitching staff here.
No. I mean, you like Ohtani, and again, Javier's hit the skids. Senga is up and down. Like, I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it. All right, Mike Haber's bench. What did he do this week?
All right, this one you'll get. This was an 8 for 32.
8 for 32. Well, that is a 250.
It is. Well done.
I'm 2 for 2, boys. 2 for 2. I'm going to retire right now.
3 runs, 4 doubles, 2 RBIs, a steal, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. The walks are the only thing that plays, but they're walks. You know, well, I think one of them was like a pinch, a walk off the bench for a guy.
How many did he leave?
He left 2, and he would have needed all. Yeah, he would have needed both of them.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So, he used 8 hitters. So he dropped Ryan Walker for Kevin Newman, who went 1 for 5 with a solo home run. Mm-hmm. Then dropped Newman and Nolan Gorman for Bryce Miller, who went 4 1/3, a homer, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, a 6.23, a 2.08 against Baltimore, and Joey Votto 0 for 4 and 2 strikeouts.
Yikes! Votto, you remember the text he sent when he dropped Gorman?
Yes.
Yeah, like get the fuck off my team, guy who's struck out like 30 times in his last 70-something at bats or something. Like it was some ridiculous stat where I'm like, damn, that's a personal attack at a man's job. Like, and then did he just recently homer?
He did for Kostas. We'll get into that.
All
right. He dropped Votto for Tristan Kostas, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Dropped Kostas for Jose Cisnero, 2/3 of an inning with a relief appearance. Dropped Wandy Peralta for Will Vest, 2/3, a 150 whip and a relief appearance. Dropped Bryce Miller for Sean Armstrong and Mike Soroka for Jordan Westberg. 8 adds, 4 hitters, a starter, and 3 relievers. Nothing too crazy.
I wish he would have given Westberg a bit more of a run here.
Yeah.
I wish he could have found a way to do that. I know he's been kind of crying for a third baseman all season. It's been this sort of rolling rotation between Duran and Davis and Gorman and whatever other guys you can find. But that kid, I don't know. Pairing him with Cedric Mullins seems to be something I would be interested in. Yeah,
he's got Rendon back, so that's probably part of the equation as well.
Okay. For however long that guy stays healthy.
Right, yeah. another 2 hours or so.
Right.
For his key players, his MVP, it's going to be Vlad. 292 with a 346, 4 runs, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 7 RBIs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Man, did he need that because it's been a rough stretch.
Time.
Yeah. It's been rough for Vlad.
Yeah.
His least valuable hitter though is going to be Bryce Harper. A 188, 381 on base, just 1 run, 1 RBI. The 5 walks is nice, but that's really all he contributed this week.
Yeah. And he's in that category.
Yeah. So it didn't really do much. So, it was a rough week for him. For his pitching side, for the Cy Young, we're looking at Braxton Garrett, 7 innings, 13 strikeouts, a 129 and a 43 whip. Yeah. This kid's been just another Bones arm. Yeah, he's been lights out.
I was just saying. I was just talking with Frank, and he said, "Why are the Marlins good?" I said, "Well, other than Sandy, their pitching is really good." And this was one of the kids I pointed to. Like, this kid's fairly decent.
Yeah. Also, Luis Ariz.
I mean, yeah, like when you have Tony Gwynn on the team, it's nice.
And the Cy Young is going to be the aforementioned Bryce Miller, who was just really bad. That was against Baltimore. Not a good start. I rode this kid for his good starts when he first came up in the league, and he's just kind of fallen on hard times ever since.
Yeah. Well, listen, I haven't spoken about Mike Haber's team all season because you guys have covered it all on your side, and we've covered ours on our side. So it's interesting that in the time that Mike goes for a bit here, I have the opportunity to discuss a team that I'm kind of envious of because if I'm brutally honest, like this is kind of a team similar to what I wanted to draft. A lot of really big hitters and take some chances on the pitching side. Well, I have to admit, I chickened out on it and I traded away some hitters for some pitching because it is what it is. But listen, like he's been really patient with this, and he's found a couple of really nice pieces. Verlander and Musgrove are a great 1-2 to have up there. And he finds Tanner Bibby, he finds Braxton Garrett, and all of a sudden he's got a pitching staff. He's what's the word I'm looking for? He's patchworked together this bullpen.
Yep.
Giovanni Gallegos is a nice, solid piece of it that he traded me Jack Flaherty for. I think that's worked out on both sides, honestly. Like I really do. I think I had to go out and get a bullpen piece after the fact because of it. So if you want to take that for what it is, but offensively, I think this team will carry. Taking the chance on Bryce Harper and getting him back in 5 weeks? It was before Altuve.
Yes, it was before Altuve.
Which I thought was incredible. The guy came back from Tommy John before my guy came back from a thumb injury. Like, I couldn't. That was the first really large red flag that maybe this isn't my season. Anyway, with Vlad, Semien, Harper, and pick one of the other like stars on this team. Yeah. It's no wonder this team is 34 games over 500. Now, I have said year after year now on this show that Mike Haber needs to close the deal. Mike Haber, you see us sitting here right now in It's the Bigs podcast official uniforms. We have one for you. It's sitting right next to the trophy. Come and get him. Both of them. That's my challenge, man. Until it happens now, we need Mike having multiple championships. He deserves it at this point. The excellence deserves to be rewarded. And I like to see that as well in Major League Baseball. Like, I understand that everybody hates the 2017 Astros, but you kind of have to respect the dominance that they had regardless. Mm-hmm. And the 22 championship or the 21 championship, that means a lot more for them. That one's clean. I'd like to see the Rays get one. I'd like to see the Indians get one because the Guardians rather, aside from the drought, they've been really good for a long time.
Yeah.
And Mike deserves that just as much here.
I agree 100%. And I think he can do it. I know he has said that he's not a fan of this team, of what he's put together here, but you can't argue with the results. I mean, he's sitting on top of the league again. And sometimes, and we've talked about it, sometimes it's, yes, the players matter, but also the manager matters almost just as much, if not more. And he's one of the best managers in the league. So no doubt. He's really got nothing to worry about.
And the pairings are so awesome that he's got currently 4 Texas Rangers in this lineup. He's pairing J.D. Davis and Jock Peterson, which if he's Gabe Kapler's doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, he is.
Great. Oh, there's a lefty on the mound. Well, you have J.D. Davis. Oh, there's a righty on the mound. Hey, Jock. Like, both of these guys do the same thing. They just don't play the same position, which is helpful for Mike.
Yeah.
That they're both dual eligible. It's bravo, Mike. Good team, man. Good team. Good team. Anything else here to put a bow on it?
Just to quickly highlight Mike Sherman when we talked about the offense.
Yeah.
And I'm facing him in week 14, and I gotta say, even though he's a 14th place team, I'm scared. Like you said, if this offense clicks all together like this, mm-hmm. I don't know how you can compete with it.
It's very hard to. The thing is, there's also a lot of streaky hitters on this team. There's a lot of young guys, and I mean, granted, Acuna is going to be steady. I feel like Dubon is a fairly good hitter. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of like pure hitters on this team. And Andrew Vaughn, Cal Raleigh, Ozzie Albies, Bobby Witt Jr., like those are 260 hitters or under.
Yeah. But when they all do, I mean, everybody did something this week. Like even the guys who did nothing did something. I mean, the planets
have to align for you for it to be this perfect.
Right.
It's an A+ 98th percentile week for this offense.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Right.
What's up next?
That's going to be my matchup, in fact, against Matt Loosee. I take an 11-7 victory over the 16th place team.
Nice.
Yeah, it was, obviously I was hoping for more. I know there were some days where the lead was a little bit bigger, and he just kind of kept clawing back. And I couldn't, as we say, I couldn't squash the bug, right? I couldn't make that big win happen here. But in terms of the standings, also no movement. I had started in eighth. I finished in eighth. He started in 16th, and he finished in 16th. So that's two straight matchups where, the standings didn't change. And we talked about how the standings have always been kind of fluctuating. But these are four teams where that didn't happen this week.
Nothing happened. Everybody just stayed sort of, okay, let everything else happen around me, and then we move forward. Sometimes it's better to just be that team under the radar that's staying status quo and jump when you can.
Yeah. Just kind of everybody else, have at it. It's kind of like a Royal Rumble, but I'm just gonna sit here in the corner and just watch
and hold the rope.
Yeah, exactly. So close categories. I win by a run, a triple, 2 steals, and 3 relief appearances. Matt won by 4 runs and 3 homers, and we tied in errors and wins. On my bench, I went 9 for 42.
Well, 9 for 45 would be 200, so it's going to be better than that. I'm going to go 227.
214.
Okay.
214, 5 runs, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 2 RBIs, the steal, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts, and an error. I also benched Griffin Canning for a start in Coors Field, which, because he threw 6 shutout innings. And yeah.
Oh, wow. Did he?
He did. 6 shutouts, 7 strikeouts, and the win, which would have untied that category.
Just the only question I have is, like, if you're not going to throw Griffin Canning in Colorado, and I don't blame you for not doing it, why are you rostering Griffin Canning?
I'm not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're not going to have him for that start, and I don't blame you for it, I don't think there's very many people in this league that are going to do that.
Right. He had been serviceable. Pete just crushed one.
Did he?
Pete just crushed one. We needed that. He's been serviceable. So, like, I've been holding on to him, kind of playing the matchups. But now I have a couple of guys coming up the IL, so he kind of got the cut. But yeah, there was no way I was starting him in Coors Field. But who knew? Like, I think this was the I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was like the 26th to whatever game.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think I think that was the Saturday game.
That was that nuts series they had of a 13-run second or third inning or something.
Yeah. But it happens. Again, that was just a way of not squashing the bug here, and I move on.
All right.
For my moves, I dropped Julian Merriweather for Aaron Savali, 6 2/3, a homer, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, a 270 and a 120 against Oakland. I dropped Sean Dubin for Tyler Rogers, an inning, a win, a strikeouts, a whip, and a relief appearance. Dropped Nate Pearson, who was garbage. Picked up Aaron Hicks, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. I picked up Jorge Mateo. He went 0 for 3. I wanted to keep him on this team, and I just couldn't. I picked up Taylor Walls, went 2 for 4 with a double, 2 RBIs, a strikeout, and an error. Dropped Mateo for Emilio Pagan, an inning in the third, a walk, a strikeout, nothing earned, a 70.75 whip, and a relief appearance. And then I dropped Pagan, Francisco Alvarez, and Miguel Vargas for Mitch White and Clark Schmidt. And those 3 were for the following week.
Gotcha.
It pained me to drop Miguel Vargas. I was really high on him in the draft, and he's been okay, but he just never came out. He never broke out like I think everybody was team too. So I couldn't keep rostering him.
I remember when you dropped him, I was talking with Frank on the phone, and I said, "Oh, Miguel Vargas just hit the waiver wire," and he goes, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You mean Miguel Vargas, the second baseman for the Dodgers?" I was like, "I do mean that guy." Why did that guy hit the waiver wire? And then I saw he was hitting like 190, and I'm like, "Oh, never mind, no interest. Moving on."
Yeah. He takes his walks, so his the on base was always good with him, but
Right.
that's pretty much it for him. And
I don't need another Max Muncy on this roster.
Exactly. For my key players, I'm giving my MVP to Pete Alonso. He only hit 208 with the 296, but the 3 runs and 2 doubles is what kind of does it here. I won that category by 1, so that's 2 homers, 6 RBIs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Man, he needs to step it up.
A little bit. Yeah, everybody on that team does.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. My least valuable hitter, once again, is Dalton Varsho. 067 with a 125, a run, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Don't know what to do with this kid.
Well, you can't trade him now. You're out of trades, aren't you?
I am, and I can't drop him, so I just need him to figure it out. He has good weeks and he has bad weeks, so yeah.
You're married to Dalton Varsho now. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks. We're going on a honeymoon soon.
Hopefully. I mean, he's been bad, so one would hope that the second half will be better, right?
It can't be much worse, right?
Right.
I mean, he's got 12 homers and 11 steals, so like that's nice. But
you're getting what you expected out of him.
Yeah, but
what's he hitting?
More. He's hitting 227.
Wow, that was the number I picked for. Never mind.
Let's hit on my pitching for my Cy Young. Framber Valdez, 8 innings, a win, a walk, 9 strikeouts, a 2.25, and an 0.63 WHIP. And he now has a sprained ankle, so that's cool.
I was so mad when you drafted him. I was so mad at you. So bad at you. I wanted all parts of him this year.
I tell you what, I do. Well, we'll get into it, but I do love the rotations I put together here,
dude. Yeah.
Except that my Cy Young is going to be Corbin Burns. He did not have a good week. 10 2/3, a loss, 2 homers, 4 walks, only 6 strikeouts over 2 starts, a 9.28 and a 1.88. That's not what I was looking for when I traded for this guy.
No, but you know what? Like, every pitcher is bound to have a week like this. Sometimes it's probably spread out over 2. So take that L and you still won the week. Like, take that your new ace pitched like dog shit and you still won ERA and strikeouts and innings.
Right.
Yeah,
and he came back this past week and threw a gem. So like he's okay. He's fine.
Yeah, he's just fine.
Yeah. Okay, flipping over to Matt on his bench, he goes 7 for 29.
All right, so 7 for 28 to 250. So it's a little bit worse than that. 238.
Ooh, 241.
Okay, close.
Yep, 241, 3 runs, 2 doubles, a homer, 6 RBIs, 2 steals, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. A lot of it plays.
Yeah, a lot of it plays.
Yeah. The 2 doubles would have flipped the category. The 2 steals would have tied the category. 4 walks, you only need 1 to win that category.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
The 4 walks when you tie the category, that's the one that hurts. Otherwise, he'd have to be perfect with the doubles and the steals.
Right. But except that he didn't, because like on Wednesday, he had Starlin Marte and Zach Short on the bench with big days, and there were empty spots in the lineup to put them in.
And here we go. Yeah.
Same thing on Sunday. He had Conforto on the bench with Josh Lowe out of the lineup, and he had a double and a steal. So like, yeah, he could have gotten.
These things were gettable.
They were gettable. They were absolutely gettable. Yeah. He did make moves.
Ouch.
He made eight of them.
All
Dropped
right.
Chase Anderson for Trevor Richards, an inning and a strikeout in a relief appearance. Dropped Jose De Leon for Kyle Bradish. This one, I was so mad at this. 7 innings, a win, a homer, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, a 257 and 057 against Seattle on Sunday, when originally he was supposed to pitch on Monday, and they moved him. Yeah, and they moved him up to Sunday. I saw this ad. I saw it pick him up, and Yahoo has showed it that he was pitching on Monday the 26th. I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden he's throwing on Sunday. I'm like, fuck.
Well,
Drops.
Oh, I guess. Yeah. Did he get the win?
He did get the win.
Oh, so that tied that category. That's annoying.
Yeah. It was very annoying. I was not a happy camper. He drops Gregory Santos for Andrew Heaney. He was the next guy up on the Heaney bicycle. He dropped Zach Greinke. Okay, so he dropped Zach Greinke for Ryan Walker, an inning, a homer, a walk, 2 strikeouts, a 9 and a 3. He dropped Domingo Germán for Christopher Sanchez, 5 innings, a loss, a homer, 4 strikeouts, a 540, and a 1 against the Mets. And he dropped Zach Short for Kevin Newman minutes after the Reds game started. In fact, we were walking on the boardwalk in Coney Island when I saw that ad come in, and it was like at 4:15, and the game started at 4:05 or something like that. And I went, oops. Then he dropped Christopher Sanchez for DeSclafani, 6 innings, a loss, 3 strikeouts, a 3 ERA, and an 0.83 whip against the Diamondbacks. And dropped Ryan Walker for Tyler Anderson, 6 innings, a loss, 2 homers, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, a 450, and a 1 in Colorado. There was a point in the week where it looked like he may not make the minimum. Like it was I think on Wednesday or Thursday he had like 7 innings or something like that. And so I was glad to see him start picking up all these starters because obviously I would not have wanted to. I would have wanted to go down that way, but I was nervous.
It's just not a competitive team, man. It's just that's what this is going to boil down to. It can be, but it's just not going to be.
Well, let's hit on those key players real quick. His MVP is going to be Justin Turner, a 304 with a 407, 5 runs, a double, a homer, 4 RBIs, a steal, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Least valuable player.
Old man Turner.
He's bringing back the clock. He's been really good. Least valuable hitter is going to be the All-Star Orlando Arcia. Let that sink in. The All-Star Orlando Arcia.
Gross.
A 136 with a 174, a run, a double, an RBI, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. The Cy Young is going to be the aforementioned Kyle Bradish because fuck that guy. And the Cy Young is going to be Domingo Germán. He went 3 1/3, a loss, 4 homers, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, a 21.60 and a 3. He then gets dropped for me to pick him up, which was
go ahead and tune in like tomorrow or later this week when we're going to talk about Domingo Germán. A lot more, like a lot more.
Yeah, it was a pretty perfect ad.
It was the perfect ad.
Yeah. So again, I wish I could have done more in this matchup. I felt like I could have, but I'll take the win where I can get it.
No doubt. A W is a W, and it has to come at the expense of the last place guy. You have to beat that guy if you want to get into the playoffs. If you want to be a competitive team in this league, you got to beat that guy. Here's the thing: it moves you to 8th, and with what's happening right now, we could see you squeaking into a playoff picture here, Jason. We haven't seen you in the playoffs since 2019.
Yep.
Yeah. You're hungry.
I'm hungry, man. But like I'm also very much aware of what's in front of me. And it's not going to be easy. We have a whole half a season to go, and there are a lot of tough teams ahead of me in the standings, and a lot of tough teams right at my heels too. So this is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
You are cautiously optimistic.
I think that's a good way to put it. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm happy where I am, but I know this is not where it's going to end up. So
Right.
one way or another, something's going to happen.
Okay. All right. We're going to move on to the next matchup here. Which one is next?
That's going to be Bryan Lebo taking a big win over Kostas, 13-8 win. And you know, this was looks like it was a pretty fun matchup. I kind of took this one over for Mike. I wish I would have followed this like all week long, because it looks like it would have been a real fun one to be like closely watching. A lot of interesting benchings, a lot of interesting moves. And yeah, but Bryan Lebo takes the win, and that's huge for him. We know how hungry he is. So
yeah, this is another guy. He might be the hottest team in the league right now.
Yeah. I think it's a very fair assessment. For the close categories, Bryan wins by 3 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 2 strikeouts, 2 wins, a loss, 3 walks, and like 0.004 on the ERA or on the WHIP rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous here. He gets so many of these close ones. Real close.
And wait till you get to the benchings, because it's masterful.
All right.
For Kostas, he wins by 3 runs, 2 steals, an error, 3 saves, and they didn't tie in a damn thing.
Right.
All right. For Lebo's bench, he does go 6 for 17.
Oh, okay. So 6 for 18 is 333. So it's going to be a little worse than that. I'll go like 363.
353.
Oh, I'm good at this.
You are pretty good at this. I have to say, I'm impressed. So 353, not great, but 1 run, 1 homer, 2 RBIs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, and 1 error. None of it plays. But he benched a number of pitching performances, and including a really bad start from Adam Wainwright against the Cubs in London, a bad start from Stroman against the Cardinals in London, and a bad relief appearance from Austin Adams earlier in the week. Basically, if he had played all those people, he would have flipped losses, walks, and probably, and for sure, WHIP.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well done. Like, he.
Way to stay away from your own Cardinals in London. There's a really good opportunity to be like, this is my team. They're playing in London. Yeah. But no, you didn't fall for that bait. Just like Mexico City and wherever else they want to play overseas, stay away from the pitchers there. Yeah,
and it was just beautiful. And I mean, the thing is, like, the 353 is high. It really was only 2 days. He had a 2 for 3 on Friday and a 3 for 10 on Sunday. Like, everything else was like it was nothing. So like, great job, Bryan. Great job.
Yeah, and he won most of the offensive categories anyway, so it's not even like you can nitpick the fact that he hit 383 or whatever.
Right. It was just a well done week. Good job, sir.
Yeah.
For his moves this week, he drops Matthew Liberatore and adds Osvaldo Bido. 6 innings, a loss, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, a 4.15, a 1.17 against the Cubs. He also picked Henry Davis for his MLB debut, and the guy goes 1 for 3 with a double, walk, and a strikeout. And now he has catcher and right field eligibility. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's an interesting combination.
Yeah, on the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
He drops Austin Adams and picks up Tommy Henry, 6 2/3, a win, a homer, a walk, 5 strikeouts, a 1.35 and a 1.20 against the Nationals. Drops Aaron Loop for Victor Gonzalez, an inning and a third, a win, nothing earned, a .75 WHIP, and a relief appearance. Drops Bido for the red-hot Patrick Bailey, who went 2 for 2. Drops Victor Gonzalez for Nick Ramirez, 2 2/3, 5 strikeouts, nothing earned, a .75, and a relief appearance. Drop Brent Rooker for Adam Simber, who was placed on the IL the very next day. Oops.
That sucks.
Yeah. Drop Nick Ramirez for Ben Heller, an inning, 3 walks, a strikeout, an 18 and a 5 with a relief appearance. Dropped Colin McHugh for Victor Gonzalez, who did not appear the rest of the week. So he added Victor Gonzalez twice. The first time was great. The second time he didn't appear.
He didn't show up.
He did not show up. Dropped Adam Sember for Andrew Vasquez, who did not appear. Dropped Adam Wainwright for Kyle Farmer, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And then he drops Tommy Henry for Eduardo Escobar. 2 for 4 with a run, a triple. The only triple of the matchup, comes on Sunday, the last ad of the week from Eduardo Escobar. Great job.
Who wasn't even on the Angels 2 weeks ago.
48 hours ago. Like it was absolutely ridiculous. Great job.
He just collected his first paycheck from there. Like
and he's also a citizen of the United States now. So congratulations.
Hey, welcome.
Yes. For his key players this week, Trey Turner, only a 250, but a 429, 3 runs, a homer, 6 RBIs, 3 steals, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts.
How fucking time we're hearing this guy's name, huh?
Right, yeah, he's kind of been trudging along. Maybe he's starting to warm up now with the summer coming, but it's been a rough go for Trey Turner. Not the 1-1 that everybody was looking for.
Right.
His least valuable hitter is going to be Jonathan India, a 105 with a 227, 3 runs, an RBI, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Gross.
Yeah.
His Cy Young is Marcus Stroman. 7 innings, a win, a walk, 5 strikeouts, nothing earned, an 0.86 whip, and also didn't start in that horrible game against the Cardinals in London, so it's doubly great.
Yeah. Also, shout out Bryce Elder. 7 innings and nothing earned. Like, strong work.
Yep. This kid's been great. But his teammate, Colin McHugh, not so great. Only 1 appearance, but he got the loss, gave up a homer, 2 strikeouts, and a 36 ERA and a 2 whip. Yuck.
Gross.
All right. For Kostas, well, on his bench, it's just 1 walk.
So, nothing.
Just a
awesome.
walk.
All right, I got 3 of them now.
Yeah,
this might be a record.
None of it plays. He did. So we'll go through the ads real quick. He adds Dean Kramer for a start: 7 innings, 3 homers, a walk, 5 strikeouts, a 386, and an 0.86 against the Mariners on the 24th. He dropped Tristan McKenzie for Reed Detmers, who pitched the day before, so Detmers did not pitch the rest of the week. He dropped Casey Schmidt for Matt Moore, who's on the IL, and then he dropped Dean Kramer for Nolan Gorman.
Okay.
But he added Nolan Gorman after the Cardinals game started. So I didn't count him as the bench stats because he technically didn't have a chance to even get him into the lineup.
Right, he has no opportunity to use him. I wonder if he saw the Gorman homer that we were talking about.
Yeah.
And jumped on him.
But because they were playing in London, I think they started at I think it was like 10 o'clock in the morning or something like that. It was an early start on Sunday because they were in London.
Well, listen, he's a young kid, and the league probably figured out a hole in his swing over the last couple of weeks, and he's got to be the professional to come out of it. And that either he's going to do that or he's Alan Craig.
Yep. But I mean, and the thing is that the Cardinals have, a very deep lineup. So
dude, there's a very hungry Juan Yepes sitting down in AAA right now that just wants the opportunity to be their DH.
Yeah. So there's really no, and eventually you got to think Tyler O'Neill's going to come back at some point. So
someday.
There's not a whole lot of room to be shitty. So
yeah.
But he used 4 ads, 1 hitter, 2 starters, 1 reliever. And really the only one that really did anything was Dean Kramer. So it was an interesting week in terms of ads for Kostas. I don't know if there was something going on, but that's what it was. For his key players, his MVP is of course Fernando Tatis, 290 with a 353, 6 runs, 2 doubles, a homer, 2 RBIs, 2 steals, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Shout out to Jake McCarthy. with the 2 steals and the 4 walks, 330 and a 440.
Mhm.
The least valuable hitter is Giancarlo Stanton,
I
118
was
with a
hoping
one.
you'd say that.
Yeah, 118, 167, 1 whole run, 1 whole RBI, 1 whole walk, and 7 strikeouts. Gross.
Yuck. Yuck.
Yeah.
And he's just not good. Like, can we just admit that Giancarlo Stanton's not good and he's just stealing money at this point?
He's hitting exactly 200 right now.
Yeah, he's not good.
No,
How many home runs does he have?
he has 7.
Yandy Diaz has 5 more home runs than Giancarlo Stanton.
He has
We're
19
the All-Star
RBIs.
break.
19 RBIs. This guy, he's a run producer, right? 19 RBIs.
19 ribeyes. I'm willing to
Yeah.
bet you that, like, Nico Horner has twice as many RBIs as Giancarlo Stanton.
I mean, what do the Yankees do with this guy? Like, they can't. They're not going to eat it.
Eat. This is their Bobby Bonilla. Eat. And continue to eat until this is done.
Oh, it's going to taste terrible.
Yes.
Let's move on to the pitching. Cy Young is going to be Zach Gallen. Who else? 7 innings, a win, a homer, a walk. Only 4 strikeouts, but a 1.29 and an 0.57. This guy's been just incredible all season long.
Cy Young candidate?
I think he has to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for the first place Diamondbacks with a 3.02 ERA to the first half, 108 strikeouts and 104 innings. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think
it's nice. I'd have to see where the ERA stacks up, but it's been nice. How many wins on the season?
He has 10 wins.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're talking.
Yeah. The Cy Young is going to be Michael King. An inning and 2/3, a loss, a homer, a walk, 3 strikeouts, a 1080 and a 180 over 2 relief appearances. He gave up runs in both of them, so he's terrible.
So here's a hilarious story, and Ben will appreciate that I'm telling this one. Our friend Sheldon was over one evening, and we're watching the Yankees game, and I'm willing to believe it was one of these 2 games. And the Yankees were up, and Michael King was coming in the game. And Sheldon, sitting right over here to my right, says, "Oh, Michael King's in the game? He's untouchable." And Michael King proceeded to gag this game away. And I just kept going, untouchable? Untouchable.
Maybe meaning like Aaron Boone shouldn't touch him. Like, leave him in the bullpen.
Maybe
that's what he meant?
Maybe. Or perhaps the word was unhittable. One of those 2, but regardless.
Yeah. So, this was an interesting matchup. The benchings were just interesting, and Kostas only using 4 ads I thought was really curious, especially he's a guy who typically uses, at least 8 or 9 ads a week. But look, Kostas is, he's still sitting here in 7th place.
These guys are absolutely right in the middle of this hunt, man.
Both of them.
This is the meat and potatoes of the hunt right now, is these guys and guys right around them like Henry Collins and others. My concern when I look at these 2 rosters, number 1 is Bryan's offense. There's no thump here, man. Like, there's nobody that's going to hit 25 homers, let alone 35 homers. Nobody on this roster.
He's had a week where he hit like 1 home run all week, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, which you can understand with the line. If it's not Trey Turner, who is it?
Exactly. He wins this week with only 5 homers and 20 RBIs. I'm willing to believe that Kostas is going to be the lowest scorer in those 2 categories this week. 21 runs scored. Like, the offense is hurting.
Yeah.
And with the strategy that he runs with pitching as many pitchers as he does, losing Shane McClanahan sucks.
Yeah.
Now, I think he'll be able to weather it so long as it's not a long-term injury, because he does have Gossman and Stroman and Bryce Elder. Like, those 3 should be able to carry him with the strategy that he uses. I just don't know if it's enough. I'm concerned that this is going to be a 9th place team that misses the playoffs again. I don't want that to be true, but, like, there's going to be somebody that does it, and this offense just doesn't scream playoff offense to me.
No. It would be if he makes it in, it would be. You have to think it'd be an early exit because this offense just can't compete with.
I mean, we've seen an offense that hit 225 go to the finals, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so or go to the semis, regardless.
But the power, but the thump, like you said, there's no thump here. Like
no,
he's not hitting double-digit home runs, in a week.
No,
and
no, it's bad, and I don't see a way you can immediately improve it without picking apart the rotation, and the rotation is really good. I wouldn't want to mess with it.
Right. I mean,
so I think this is what the team is.
McClanahan, the injury is a back injury, so it's not, we're not talking about elbow or arm or shoulder. So like, it's mid-back tightness. So hopefully that, like you said, hopefully that means like, quick return maybe right after the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe then he can try and see where he goes from here. But yeah, it's
gotta hope for a quick return from that guy, because if you're not getting it done on the pitching side, this offense can't carry you.
Right.
It just can't. As for Kostas, his offense I look at and I say, you know what, this is a playoff offense. Real Muto, Freeman, Tatis, JD Martinez, Jake McCarthy, if that kid's real. And yes, Giancarlo Stanton's a name, and as the seasons change, he gets better later. So I do recognize that he'll be important in the playoffs if Kostas makes it that far. And he's got Trevor Story coming back too.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, there's certainly pieces here that, yeah. And look, even like the Spencer Steer kid, like he's been pretty legit this year.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'm going to see him like next month when I go to Cincinnati, but the pitching is pretty good for Kostas too, man. I mean, it is basically Gallen and friends. Because Manoah was a complete bust. Hunter Green is now injured. So you got Mackenzie Gore, Alex Cobb, Drew Smiley, and Reed Detmers. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No. But the bullpen's interesting with Will Smith, Jordan Hicks. If Jordan Hicks is actually like gonna hold it together all the rest of the season, like that's a
it's about damn time. This guy throws hard enough to be a Aroldis Chapman. Like, let's go.
Yeah, it's good enough, but how good enough?
If Kostas is going to make it, listen, when Kostas, made it the one year, he beat Jimmy in a playoff or in a tiebreaker. So Kostas is known for hanging around the bubble and trying to get his way in right in the final week. So I think this is exactly what he's going to be doing the rest of the year. And the kinks in the lineup that we saw earlier in the season are all taken care of. I actually really kind of like this lineup now, this incarnation of it. And I think he can start putting a couple of wins together here. But
yeah. I think he could.
All right, man. What's the final one here tonight?
Final one here is going to be Josh Haber taking an 11-9 win over Bobby Russo. This was a comeback win from Josh. He was down the majority of the week, and then Saturday happened and turned it all around. And it was a bigger lead. Bobby made a push on Sunday, but Josh ends up with the 11-9 win. He's still in second place, right behind his brother. Bobby drops a spot to 6, but both of these teams they're right there in the hunt, obviously. So
yeah, don't worry. Bobby called his shot a few weeks ago when he said, "I'll be back."
yeah, and we were together on Saturday at Coney Island, and I just it was fun watching him toil over his lineup, and whether he do I start Lance Lynn? Do I not start Lance Lynn? We'll look at it, but let's look at the close categories here for Josh. He wins by 2 runs, 2 errors, and a win. Bobby wins by 3 doubles, 2 losses, and .10 on the whip, and they tied in triples with 1. For Josh on his bench, he goes 8 for 30.
All right, well, 8 for 32 is a 1 for 4. So it's going to be a little bit better than that. That'll be a little bit worse than that. So I'll go 271.
267.
In the ballpark every time, boys.
Yeah. It's like you're getting the ground rule doubles. That's it.
Like a good golfer, I'm just laying up every time on the green. Just like get it within. Just don't have to 2-putt.
267. 1 run, 4 doubles, a homer, 4 RBIs, 2 steals, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. The doubles are the only thing that plays. He would have had to get all 4 of them in to flip the category. There was no obvious way to do that. So just a good bench week from Josh. For his moves this week, he drops Louis Varland for Spencer Torkelson over 4 with 2 strikeouts. Drops DJ LeMahieu for Chas McCormick over 3 with a strikeout. Drops Josiah Gray for Cody Bellinger over 2 with an RBI, a steal, a walk on the bench.
It doesn't matter. That guy's now on Josh Haber's team, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Drop Chas McCormick for Ben Lively, 4 innings, 2 homers, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, a 450 and a 175 against the Rockies. Picked up Lucas Sims, an inning, 2 strikeouts over relief appearance. Dropped Sims for Bryan Hoeing, 5 innings, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, nothing earned, and a .6 whip against the Pirates. Added Jonathan Aranda for his NA spot. Dropped Hoeing for Aaron Savali, 6 innings, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, a 6 ERA, and a 1.33 against the Brewers. That was on Sunday. And that was it. 8 hitters, 8 ads, 4 hitters, 3 starters, and a reliever.
That kid Bryan Hoeing, you know what his professional wrestling moniker would be? The Gardener.
The Gardener.
Bryan the Gardener Hoeing. That's right. There's your pun of the night.
Thank you. I needed that.
You're welcome.
Let's look at his key players. This was tough. I'm giving it to Ellie De La Cruz because this kid is just unstoppable. A 440 with a 462, 8 runs, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, 2 steals, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. Also, though, shout out to Ketel Marte's 12 RBIs.
Yeah, and his 9 runs and his 441 on base percentage. Ellie had a nice week. Ketel Marte was a fucking beast. And didn't he get that guy in the trade for Bryce Elder from Bryan?
He did. He did, in fact. Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah. Yep. Look, his offense was ridiculous this week. Stupid. He hit 284 with 15 home runs and 39 RBIs. Like it was stupid.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not joining in the fun is Xander Bogaerts, who hit 160 with a 222, 1 run, a homer, 3 RBIs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. This guy, he's been a disappointment in his first year in San Diego.
A little bit. I mean, San Diego's been disappointing, period, end of sentence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's a big part of it. Darvish is a big part of it. Juan Soto's not having a great year. There's a lot of pressure there. And just like the Mets, you can't just put a whole bunch of really good dudes together and expect it to be a team.
Right. You can't buy championships.
Exactly.
On the pitching side, I'm giving this Cy Young to Alexis Diaz. 4 innings, 3 saves. The 5 walks, not great, but 6 strikeouts, a 2.25 ERA, and whip over 4 relief appearances. And the Cy Young is going to be the Josiah Gray, who's no longer on the team. 5 innings, a loss, 2 bombs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, a 1080, and a 2 whip.
Josh Haber or Mike Haber are going. One of the two of them is getting a bye this year. True or false?
True.
Yeah. I kind of feel like we're heading toward that, and it's possible that both of them get it.
Yeah.
If both of them get it, that will mean they're on a collision course for the final. Because that's the story right now. The story is the Habers.
Yeah, that would be
the story is the Habers, and this collision course that they have perhaps in the playoffs, perhaps in the final. But I feel like one of them getting the bye is almost a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. We got to hit on Bobby.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Let's get that screen back up.
And I think you'll be all right with this one. On his bench, it's a 10 for 40.
10 for 40 is a 250.
It is. Well done.
It is.
So you had a great week.
That's what, 4 for 8? That's 4 for 8, but guys, that's 500 right there. Let's go.
Take it, Ben. All right. 250 with 6 runs, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, 2 steals, 5 walks, and 11 strikeouts. The runs are the only thing that would have played. He only needed 2 of the 6 to tie the category. But it's, they were tough to get in. Candelario on Sunday had 3 runs just by himself. So he needed to get that guy in, and that would have changed everything. But
he even said on Sunday that he's like, I like playing Candelario.
Well, he should have.
Mm-hmm.
For his ads this week, he dropped Hogan Harris for Nick Whitgren, who never appeared. Dropped Taylor Walls for Zach McKinstry, 1 for 3 with a run, a double, an RBI, and a walk. Dropped Ronel Blanco for Michael Garcia, 1 for 4 with a 2-run homer. Dropped McKinstry for Austin Cox. Which team?
Kansas City Royals.
Bingo. 3 2/3, a walk, 4 strikeouts, nothing earned, an 082 whip over a relief appearance. Dropped Whitgren, who never came in. Dropped Cox for Yimi Garcia, 2/3 of an inning, 3 whip, a relief appearance, and then left with an injury. Added Steven Wilson with an inning, a walk, 2 whip, and a relief appearance. Dropped Andrew Nardi for Aaron Bummer, an inning and a third, 2 strikeouts, and a relief appearance. Dropped Garcia for Austin Adams, and dropped Les Lynn for Angel Perdomo. Lance Lynn, who he did not start on Saturday.
Right. I noticed that there's a lot of relievers he's picking up, and he still didn't make relief appearances. So credit to Josh for holding him off there. Yeah,
and I think that's something that Josh, he's keen on that. He picked up on that shit.
Yeah.
For his key players this week, Christian Walker, 393 with a 452 on base, 2 runs, 4 doubles, 5 RBIs, 3 steals, 3 walks. Since when does Christian Walker steal 3 bases in a week?
Listen, Christian Walker, there was a point, I think it was 2019, whatever the first year Goldschmidt was in St. Louis was. And at the end of the season, I compared Goldschmidt and Walker's numbers side by side, and they were pretty comparable. Christian Walker's a damn good player. I think he's just really under the radar right now because he's playing in Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely. But he stole 3 bases last week. He's got 4 on the season.
Hey, it was the right week to own that guy. He might end up with 6 at the end of the year.
But the wrong guy to add this week, to own this week, was Adley Rutschman. Didn't get a hit. A 176 on base, just 1 run, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Yep.
Yeah, not great.
No. On the pitching side, the Cy Young is going to be Justin Steele, 6 innings, a win, a walk, 8 strikeouts, a 150 ERA, and a 1 whip. And the Cy Young is going to be the aforementioned Andrew Nardi, who has left the team. 2/3 of an inning, 2 homers, a walk, a strikeout, a 27 ERA, and a 450 whip in 1 appearance.
I have seen that dude bounce around to about 8 different teams this year.
Yeah. He's the maybe it's the Andrew thing, Andrew Nardi and Andrew Heaney, but they definitely get around.
Yeah. Bobby has been a really, really good manager this week, and part of me really wants to gush right now about the fact that he won as big as he did this week, but I'm going to save that for next week. It's unfortunate that he takes a loss here because he was really, really hot leading up to this matchup. I don't think there's any issue with him taking this loss because, again, knowing what we know now, he was walking into a pretty soft part of his schedule, so he was going to get right regardless. Right. And he's gotten healthy. And he's taking care – well, Corbin Carroll's now a bit banged up, but I don't think that's anything serious. And that's
No.
really important that he's not, because that's the engine that's making this go. Jose Ramirez, that guy, and Christian Walker and Adley Rutschman. That's the four.
Yep.
And that if one of those engines blows, I would be concerned that we would see him fall. As long as he's got those four, I feel like this is a playoff team. The pitching leaves a little bit to be desired, however, is the nicest way for me to say that. Bailey Ober's been a really nice find. He's been a really nice find. And Aaron Nola's a fine ace, I suppose. Justin Steele is fine as like a 4, but the team is built around the bullpen and getting to the minimum.
Right. He's not getting anything from Max Fried. Maybe he comes back, after the break.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a lift, but yeah.
But it seems like it's just going to be like one pitcher a week that he might have to stream, along with this motley crew of dudes with Aaron Nola.
Yeah, and the thing is, you talk about the bullpen, but like the bullpen hasn't been solid. Like even Clase has not been good.
No, he blew this one.
Yeah, he did. More on that in a week. Jason Adam has not been great. We know about Ronaldo Lopez.
It is not without its warts, that's for sure.
That's for sure, exactly. Yep.
But I want to see Bobby make a really strong run here. Hell, we know what we know now, but can Bobby really keep up that high level of play where he's actually fighting with the Habers for the bye? Do you think he could be up there? With
I don't
this
know.
Team, like this is the team right now. Do you feel like this is a number 1 or number 2 team?
I don't. Not with Frank in the mix and Ben in the mix. I feel like it, and the Habers. I think it's just too much ahead of them to.
Okay.
I do think it's a playoff team. I don't think it's a top 2.
Right. I think I can agree with that. I think it's definitely a team that, if it's going to win a championship, needs to go 3 rounds.
He does get Mike Haber in week 14. So that's going to be a huge matchup.
Absolutely. Must watch TV, 1 versus 2.
Yeah. So, we'll see how that goes. He's done with Josh. So
listen, like I said earlier, Josh is a top team. It's a question of whether or not he's going to get a bye. It's a strong ass team. It's a strong ass team. Even getting a bad first half out of Xander Bogaerts. He now has Anthony Rizzo and Cody Bellinger to play at first base. Like, come on. That's just annoying.
Yep. Ketel Marte and Austin Riley and this De La Cruz kid, if he's real,
He's got 2 De La Cruz kids.
That's a lot of cruising.
Yeah. Pity for him? I mean, I traded him Alcantara. And it's Alcantara and Logan Webb and Carlos Rodon, because somebody had to go sell Carlos Rodon for Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah, that's me. Of course, now Chisholm has an oblique injury, so that's fun. But,
Did you get 4 games?
Yeah, but you know what? They were important. Well, more on that in a week.
Yes. Anyway, Josh, I feel like so long as this team stays healthy and it can go as far as you want it to. Yordan Alvarez is yet to come back. Like, we know he's going to come back and be a beast. So it's going to be a good team. It's going to be a good team by season's end.
Yeah,
Jason, I think that brings us to your managers of the week, man.
It does. It does, in fact. And it was I listened to your part 1 with Ben, and you guys hit the nail on the head. This was a tough week to pick managers. It was a bunch of good options. I am going to start with Henry. Henry's going to be my number 3. Anytime you take down Ben Nisman, you have to get nominated for manager of the week. I know there was a benching mishap throughout the week, but it didn't really matter at the end of the day. He beat Ben Nisman.
That's what you take away from that is that Ben Nisman got beat, and the guy who beat him is a rookie who was also beating me this season. So
and me.
Okay, so he's beaten 3 of the guys on the show. Good job, Henry. Good job.
Yeah.
Jason, who's number 2, man?
Another rookie that beat somebody on this show, and that's gonna be Adam Lowenstein. Like, again, like if you beat Joe Schubert, like you have to get mentioned on this show. So yeah. I have to give it to Adam.
He was absolutely unstoppable that week. I just couldn't keep up with the offense. Every time my offense had a good day, his had maybe not as good a day, but it was good enough to like mitigate whatever I was special in. I would have 9 runs and he'd have 7 instead of me having like 9 runs and him having 3. It was annoying. But his team is well put together and he's managing well. Congratulations, Adam. Who's number 1, man?
Bryan Lebo.
Yeah.
Bryan Lebo. Just the benching of those pitchers. Like it was just, maybe some of it was luck, but it was genius. It was just sheer genius. And spoiler alert, he's doing it again here in week 13 as well. This guy knows what he's doing. He's hungry. If he can find a way to make this lineup work and find some sort of power.
Yeah, that's what's going to hold him back.
Yeah, but the manager here is scarier than the team, and he's a pretty scary manager.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and he was our manager of the week this week. Did take a bit of a drubbing from Frank, but we're going to find out about that on the next episode. Jason, thanks so much for being here tonight, man. Thanks for staying up late with me.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's Sunday Night Baseball. Got to watch our Mets finally win a series.
We won a whole series?
We won a whole series. Yes, we won 2 out of 3 from the Giants. So
did we win 2 in a row?
We won 2 in a row. Yeah.
All right. 1 more, and you know what that is?
That's called a winning streak.
That's called a winning streak. That's right. Guys, thank you so much for being here and making this story what it is in 2023. We would have absolutely nothing on this podcast to talk about if not for the other 14 men in this league. To Mike Haber, again, we love you. Take all the time you need. We've got you from here, buddy. To our commissioner, love you, man. Get well soon. We're gonna bang this thing out 3-man style next time. That sounds weird. Guys, until next time, it's been real, it's been fun, and it is always real fun in the bigs. We'll see you next time.